What would you do the day after you hit 1 crore? Most people, they would feel secure, settled, like the hard part is finally over. But here's what I've seen happen again and again working with investors for nearly 2 decades. The day after 1 crore is actually when the most expensive mistake get made. Not by careless people, not by beginners, but by exactly the kind of disciplined, patient investors who earn that number in the first place. Because nobody prepares you for what comes next. 1 crore changes the rules. The way your money compounds changes, the risk changes, and the one thing that got you here, grinding, saving, pushing, is no longer the most important thing. Something else is. And most people don't find out what that is until it actually costs them. This video is about that. What 1 crore actually does for your financial life in India right now, why wealth starts accelerating after this point in a way that feels almost unfair, and that one specific trap that quietly destroys portfolio at exactly this stage that almost no one in personal finance talks about honestly. If you have hit 1 crore or you're close, the next few minutes might be the most important financial content you watch this year. By the way, I'm Nikhil. I'm a chartered accountant by profession with nearly 2 decades of experience with EY, PwC, and one of India's top wealth management firm before launching my own startup. And this is Finicky, where I simplify money the same way I practice it. There is one specific, very concrete thing that 1 crore does for you in India, and it's worth naming clearly right at the start. It removes panic from your decision making. Now, that might sound simple, but think about it carefully. When are people most likely to make terrible financial decisions? When their back is against the wall? When they are under pressure? When the rent is overdue? The EMI is threatening, or a medical bill has appeared out of nowhere. Panic is the enemy of good judgment, and most people in India, even high earners, live close enough to the edge that panic is always few expenses away. But when you have around 1 crore in liquid savings that you can actually access, the equation changes. Think about the real expenses that define a middle class to upper middle class life in India today. A car replacement runs from 15 to 20 lakhs. A child's graduation at a quality private institution is 25 to 30 lakhs. A mid-scale family wedding, decent venue, catering, decor is around 20 to 25 lakhs, even 30 lakhs. And a medical emergency beyond your insurance limit can easily breach 10 to 15 to 20 lakhs. When you have around 1 crore in your liquid saving, situation like these stop feeling like a crisis. They simply become expenses you can plan for, and that shift from crisis mode to planning mode changes the quality of every financial decision you make. You negotiate better at work, you invest more patiently, you make cleaner career decisions. The corpus doesn't just sit in an account, it silently improves your judgment across every financial choice in your life. That is the first real power of 1 crore. Not extreme wealth, but genuine stability. And in financial planning, stability is the foundation on which everything is built. Now here's where most people get blindsided, because after years of chasing 1 crore, it feels natural to ask, can I finally stop? Can I actually live off this? And the honest answer really is no. 1 crore is not a retirement number, not in India, not today, and I want to show you exactly why, so you never have to find out the hard way. Let's use a real life scenario. You are 45-year-old, you have hit your 1 crore in liquid corpus. Your current monthly household expenses is say 80,000, which honestly is not extravagant for a family in any tier 1 city today. Annually, that is about 9.6 lakhs. Now factor in inflation at conservative 6% annually. In 10 years, the same lifestyle cost about 1.72 lakhs per month. In 20 years, it costs 3 lakhs per month. Your expenses don't stay fixed, they compound against you, and here's what the math actually shows. If you withdraw 80,000 a month from that 1 crore, even assuming a solid 12% annual return on the remaining balance, the corpus runs out in approximately 12 to 14 years. You retire at 45, you run out of your money at 57 or 58, with potentially 20 to 25 years more of your life still ahead. This is not retirement plan, that is a countdown. So what does an actual retirement number look like? Financial planners typically use the 4% safe withdrawal rule. The principle is simple. your annual expenses should represent no more than 4% of your corpus. Now, going back to the same example, at 9.6 lakhs a year, you need at least 2.4 crores at current cost, and significantly more when you factor in how inflation compounds over 25 years retirement horizon. For most Indian households targeting a comfortable, dignified retirement, the realistic number sits anywhere between 5 to 8 crores depending on your age, city, lifestyle and healthcare needs. So 1 crore is not the destination, it is the starting line of the compounding journey. The investors who understand this early are the ones who protect the corpus instead of slowly drawing it down. Now, before we get into the compounding math, let me ask you something. Are you finding this useful? If you are, just hit the like button and subscribe. It's a small thing, but it really helps me know that you are enjoying this kind of content, and it motivates me to make more videos like this for you. Alright, now let's talk about something that genuinely surprises most investors, because once your portfolio crosses 1 crore, the math of wealth starts changing in a way that almost feels unfair. At 1 crore, compounding stops being a concept and starts behaving like an infrastructure. Let me show you what I mean with one simple number. A 1 crore portfolio growing at 12% annually generates 12 lakh in year 1 without single additional rupee added. That's 1 lakh per month produced entirely by the corpus sitting there. But here's where it gets remarkable. Because the next crore doesn't take another decade, it takes 6 years. And the crore after that takes about 4 years, then 3 years, then under 3 years. The same 12% return, the same market, the only thing that changes is the base, and a larger base means each percentage point is now doing more rupee work than it did ever before. At 5 crore, that 12% produces 60 lakhs a year, 5 lakhs every single month from a corpus that was simply left alone. This is the mathematical reality that separates the first crore from every crore after it. And it is why investors who reach 5 crore always say the same thing. The last few crores felt easier than the first one. Building the first crore takes discipline, growing the crores after that takes patience. Those are very different skills, and most people don't even realize the shift has happened. Okay, now stop for a second. Everything we have covered so far is the good news. The stability, the compounding math, the accelerating wealth curve. Now I need you to tell you about the thing that undoes all of it. I've watched this happen to smart people, disciplined people, people who have did everything right for 10 to 15 years. And it happens at exactly this stage, not before, not after, right here around 1 crore. It's so common, I gave it a name, the play money trap. Here's exactly how it plays out. An investor crosses 1 crore, they have proven their discipline over many years. And then, almost inevitably, a portion of that confidence starts expressing itself as an appetite for bigger, faster returns. They look at the corpus and think, I can afford to experiment with a small part of this. Maybe 10 lakhs, maybe 20, it's a small percentage. If it works, great. If not, I can absorb it. The reasoning feels sound, but it isn't. Here's why. First, there is no such thing as money you can afford to lose. When that loss comes directly out of a compounding base, a 15 lakhs loss at this stage is not just 15 lakhs gone. At 12% over the next 10 to 15 years, that 15 lakhs could become 60 to 80 lakhs. You're not just losing 15 lakhs, you're surrendering decades of compounding. That is the real cost, and almost nobody calculates it that way. Second, and this is where the psychology gets dangerous. Most people aren't good at absorbing a loss and moving on. What actually happens is they shift into recovery mode. They start trying to win the money back. Positions get bigger, risks get higher, decisions become emotional. What started as a small experiment with 10 lakhs slowly turns into a 35 to 40 lakh erosion, not from one bad call, but from a series of emotionally driven ones. This isn't theory. SEBI's own data from financial year 25 puts hard numbers on it. Indian retail investors collectively lost over 1 lakh crores in derivatives trading in single financial year. A significant portion of those were not uninformed or impulsive people. They were disciplined, high-earning professionals who genuinely believed they were allocating a manageable portion of their portfolio to higher return instruments. The market has no memory of how long it took to reach 1 crore. A 15% drawdown at this corpus size means 15 lakhs gone, potentially 2 to 3 years of savings wiped out in weeks. At 1 crore, the compounding engine has just found its momentum. The most valuable thing you can do is to refuse to interrupt it. Now, let me give you one piece of context that ties everything together. Where does 1 crore actually sit in India's wealth landscape today? Fewer than 5% of Indian households have reached 1 crore in liquid financial assets. Not net worth, not real estate valuations, liquid accessible capital. In a country of 1.4 billion people, that is genuinely a small group, and reaching it represents years of correct behavior in an environment where financial literacy is still developing. That deserves to be acknowledged clearly. But it's equally important to be honest. 1 crore is not wealthy. And I say that not to diminish the milestone, but because confusing stability with freedom at this stage leads investors to make decisions they're not yet in a position to take. Standard Chartered's wealth research is specific on this point. They categorize the 1 crore to 3 crore liquid corpus bracket as India's emerging affluent, a segment with real stability and genuine optionality, but one that has not yet decoupled from income dependency. Their salary still matters, their business still matters, and critically, Standard Chartered's data shows that this corpus, drawn down aggressively, lasts only 5 to 9 years. That number should stay with you. Now, here's where the picture becomes even genuinely motivating. The Hurun India Wealth Report defines true wealth at a net worth of 8.5 crores or above. That's 0.3% of Indian families. But Hurun identifies the 5 to 10 crore band as the real inflection point, where investors move from financial security to financial influence, from pure domestic allocation to global diversification, from managing a corpus to building a legacy. That 5 to 10 crore band is exactly where 1 crore is pointing, not as a distant dream, as a mathematical outcome of protected, patient compounding. A 1 crore corpus at 12% reaches 5 crores in approximately 14 years without a single additional rupee. Protect the base, don't interrupt the compounding, and the destination takes care of itself. 1 crore does something powerful. It removes panic from your financial life. It gives you the buffer to make decisions from stability instead of pressure. And that shift in judgment quality, that alone is worth more than most investors realize when they first hit this number. But this is also the stage where compounding stops being a concept and starts behaving like a system. Your role changes, you stop being the engine and you start being the protector. The risks here are predictable. Overconfidence dressed up as calculated risk, small experiments that quietly become large losses, lifestyle creeping faster than the portfolio grows. These aren't exotic dangers, they are ordinary. And that's exactly what makes them so costly. 1 crore isn't the finish line, it's the first moment the finish line becomes visible. And the investors who get there, the ones who actually retire comfortably, who build the real wealth, who make it to 5 crore or beyond, they are not the ones who were the most aggressive after crossing 1 crore. They are the ones who understood that the milestone had raised the stakes and chose patience over speed. So here's the question I want you to carry with you. Now that the compounding engine has finally found its momentum, will you protect it? If you know someone who has already crossed this milestone or is getting close, share this video with them. Because the mistakes we discussed today happens most often to people who work too hard and too long to deserve them. And I would love to hear from you. What milestone are you working towards right now? 1 crore, 5 crores or beyond? Let me know in the comments, and also any other topic you want me to break down. That's it from me. I'm Nikhil. Subscribe to learn how to make your finances less tricky with Finicky. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.